Then he flew and sat on a branch to have his cheese in peace. A fox that was watching the crow thought about doing something to get the cheese for himself. The crafty fox went near the tree, and to the crow who was sitting on the branch he said, "What strong wings you have! Such beautiful feathers! Your black feathers are really special. Honestly, no color in the world is as beautiful as black. Not to mention your head and your tail, and also your feet. If only I could hear your voice, I guess I would be sure that you are the best of all birds." The crow, flattered to hear such compliments from the fox, decided to open his mouth, so he could show that his voice is also nice. But at the very moment that he opened his beak, the cheese fell out. The fox grabbed the cheese and ran away. The crow had just figured out that the crafty fox had fooled him just so he could get the cheese. Poor naive crow. Remember, children, always think twice before you decide to do something. And also get advice from your parents about it, so you don't get fooled by anyone.
Once upon a time, everything was beautiful in the spring forest. Trees and flowers glistened in the sun. The locusts and the ant were lovely friends, and they lived close to each other. In the spring, the ant was working, transporting and storing heavy grains, preparing for winter. But the locust was happily enjoying her sunbath, singing in the sunshine between beautiful flowers and green grass. "I love this life so much. I love to sit under the trees and always sing and breathe the fresh air. I love our beautiful forest." "Who works in this weather, Ant? Come enjoy the sun. I'll sing some beautiful songs only for you." The ant kept collecting food every day and hiding it in her house, which is inside the trunk of a small tree. She was storing and collecting wood for the winter too. But the lazy locust was sleeping in the sun and singing. Then harvest season came. The ant started to work hard and persistently. She made a ladder from the stem of plants and moved it from leg to stem and gathered wheat. The locust, who was still lying in the sun, starts singing. And she was saying, "Who can sing like me? What a beautiful voice! What a wonderful lyric!" Autumn comes with heavy rain and cold winds. The ant continued to work like before. As the leaves of trees yellowed and started to fall to the ground, the locust was sitting sad and angry under the leaves of the trees so as to not be affected by the rain. The important thing, as you would expect, is winter, and the snow is falling. The locust did not find any food to eat. She was hungry and confused in the freezing cold weather. She even lost her desire to sing as she shivered with cold. But the ant was sitting on her little chair in her warm home next to the fireplace. She was resting and eating the food she collected. The locust thought, "I will go to the ant's house and ask her to help me. I cannot do anything else. I know my ant friend has enough food for both of us. Plus, it's going to be warm inside." The locust went to the ant's house and started knocking on the door. The ant opened the door of the house and saw the locust standing.
What do you want?
Dear ant, I am starving. I am freezing from the cold. Help me. The ant looked at the locust, then said to her,
What were you doing all summer? You were just playing and singing, and you laughed at me. You even advised me to come and sit beside you and sing. Now you can't even sing.
Then she closed the door in her face. But after a short time, the ant felt pity for the locust. So she opened the door and invited the locust to her house. She gave her food and prepared a warm and suitable place for her. After the locust felt warm, she started thinking and crying. Then she said to the ant, "Oh, ant, forgive me. I made a mistake. I now realize that I must take care of all things like you."
It's all right, my dear. Next time we'll gather food together. It is good that you learned the lesson now. Come on, rest now.
The friendship between the locust and the ant became stronger. And since then, they have not left each other's side. And they have had many memories together. Our story has ended. We hope you like it. Once upon a time, there was a small mouse walking in a large park. He was playing and walking, but suddenly he heard a sound. The little mouse was scared. He hid behind a small bush and listened carefully. It was the sound of a little kitten, lonely and confused among the flowers. Meow, meow, meow. The little mouse was very scared of cats as he looked at the cat from behind the bush. He was shivering with intense fear, as mice and cats do not have good relations. The kitten was very sad because she was lost and had no idea where her mommy was. The little mouse was afraid that the cat would see him and chase him. But the little kitten was just so worried and sad that he didn't see the little mouse behind the bush of red flowers. He was not really paying attention. All he wanted to do was find his mother. And he would say out loud, "Meow, meow, Mom, I'm here. Where are you? Meow, meow." He repeated this sentence over and over until his mother heard his voice. She came to him and took him to the other side of the garden. Then the little mouse caught his breath and started playing around again. When he was running under the bush and jumping with joy and happiness, his eyes fell on something. There was something shining next to the flowers. And do flowers shine? He approached and found a small mirror with a golden frame. The little mouse looked in the mirror, so he saw himself and thought there was another mouse. He got so excited and started talking to his image.
"Hello, do you want to come play together?"
The mouth of the little mouse in the mirror was moving, but he heard nothing. The little mouse talked a lot with the mirror until he got tired, and then he stopped. The nightmare, who was the little kitten on a nearby tree, laughed watching the mouse.
"Little mouse, this is a mirror.
You are talking with your picture. You are talking with the mirror."
Does this mean I'm in the mirror? Do I look like this? Yes, it is you.
The little mouse looked at his picture again and admired himself, laughing at the intensity of joy, and the little kitten laughed as well. Sounds of laughter reached the buds. They all started singing and feeling happy. Their laughter caused more laughter. They had so much fun and played a long time until they got tired and slept. They went to the little kitten's house and slept. On that day, the little mouse could not stop thinking about that mirror. He was very surprised that he met himself in the mirror. He saw himself, and he had not seen himself before. He was thinking all day about his image in the mirror. He knew that he had a long tail and beautiful ears. His nose is round like a nut, and he has a long mustache. He knew why his ears heard well and why his tail sometimes helped him, why his legs were short, and why he had soft hands. He knew how long his mustache was and knew the shape of his nose. He loved himself and felt proud of his appearance. Once upon a time, there were 2 ducks and a turtle living in a pond. They were good friends. They spent their days together and loved each other very much. But the water of the river began to gradually decrease, and the water dried up, so living in the pool became difficult. When the ducks saw the situation, they went to the turtle and told her, "Our beloved friend, we have come to bid you farewell. We cannot stay here anymore. It is true that this separation grieves us, and it is very difficult for us, but there is no other solution. We must leave this place. We must go to another blessing." When the turtle heard the words of the ducks, she started crying and said, "Dear friends, the dryness of this pond's water has hurt me a lot too, and I also cannot live here. Do something. Take me with you." The ducks said together, "In fact, your separation is very difficult for us, and if we go to a beautiful and moderate place, we will be very annoyed because we cannot have fun without you." The ducks started thinking about what they had to do to take the turtle with them. They thought a lot, and then they found a solution. So they went to the turtle to tell her. They stood in front of the turtle and told her, "If you want to go with us, you must do what we say." She accepted. "If we carried you, we flew in the sky, and our people watched you and said anything. So you never respond to them. You should never talk. Let people say what they want." The turtle surprisingly accepted. The ducks went and brought a branch, and the turtle firmly grabbed the middle of the branch with her mouth. Each duck held one end of the branch with their legs and flew. On the way, people would see, marvel, and talk about them. Someone was saying out loud, "Look, the turtle is flying!" "Will the turtle fly? How strange!" People did not leave them alone, and they were talking one after the other. The turtle remained silent for some time, but she could not stand it and said, "Stop being rude!" When she opened her mouth, she fell from heaven to earth. and nothing was known about her after that. Our story has ended. We hope you like it. Once upon a time, there was a clever rabbit living in a charming green forest. The wolf and the fox are very tired because they made many plans to get the bunny into the trap, but they never succeeded. One day, the cunning fox told the wolf, "Oh, wolf friend, I am very tired. We have to do something about this bunny." "You know what? I have a plan. This time we must hunt the rabbit in any way and eat him. I am tired." So the wolf asked, "What is your plan? What do you want to do? Is there anything that we didn't try? We did everything we could. We will do whatever you want, even though the little rabbit will not fall into our trap. Tell me, what is your plan?" The fox thought a little and said, "Go to the end of the forest where the poisonous mushrooms grow and pretend to die, and I go to the rabbit. Trick him to come and see you're dead, then jump and grab him. But be careful he should not escape. We will have him this time, I'm sure." The wolf agreed and went to the place that the fox showed him, while the fox approached the house of the rabbit and started crying and wailing. He told the story to the rabbit and told him that the wolf ate the poisonous mushroom and died. Then told him, "If you want to be sure, you can go and see it." "Yes, Mr. Rabbit, I am very sad. I just lost my dearest friend. We did not notice. We went and ate mushroom. I did not eat, but the poor wolf did. Then he fell and passed away. You can go and see if you don't believe me." The rabbit rejoiced a lot with this news and decided to go and see for himself if the fox is telling the truth or lying. So he went to the place where the poisonous mushroom grew and looked from behind the trees. Yes, he saw the wolf laying on the ground, frozen, not moving. He wanted to come see the wolf up close, but he suddenly stood up and thought a little. He said, "What if he's alive? What if I got close to him?" And he quickly jumped, grabbed and gripped me. Better to be careful and make sure that he really died. He jumped behind the tree, but a little closer, and said loudly, "My dad used to say, the wolf, when he dies, keeps his mouth open, but this old wolf, his mouth is closed." When the wolf heard this, he began to open his mouth little by little and quietly to show the rabbit that he had really died. The rabbit was looking carefully at the wolf's mouth, and he noticed that the wolf was moving, and he did not die. So he shouted, "You stupid little wolf, I know you are still alive. Why did you move your mouth? I only said that to see your reaction." The rabbit ran away laughing. "You will never have me." Yes, children, if we are smart, we can always protect ourselves. Our story is over. We hope you like it. Once upon a time, there was a little bird looking for food on one of the beautiful bright days. On that day, the bird flew far more often than usual, but found nothing. Suddenly, his eyes fell on a grain of millet in the garden. What a big millet! He sang with joy and didn't know what to do. Thank God! He came to take the millet and eat it. When he looked at the millet, he noticed it was too big and fresh. He definitely told himself it was delicious too. He carried a grain of the millet to his nest. When he sat near his nest, he saw the ant. The ant was searching for food, and it was clear that she had not found anything since the morning. The bird was very nice and loving. He looked at the ant and said to her, "Hello, dear ant. Come and see what I found. A grain of millet, it looks so delicious. Half for you and a half for me." The ant rejoiced a lot, knowing that the bird was very pleasant and lovely. She came next to the bird gladly. When they wanted to split the millet and eat it together, they heard the rustle of herbs. There was a golden mite walking on the herb, and he was looking for something to eat as well. It seemed that he hadn't managed to find anything yet. The mite was thin and yellow. He was very beautiful and attractive. He was walking around the garden and struggling. The ant felt pity for the little mite. She called for the mite and said, "Dear good mite, come see what we found, a very delicious millet you can eat with us too. The bird is very good. He has shared the grain of millet with me, and he will share it with you too. So let's come to eat it together." The mite rejoiced greatly, came running, and sat next to the bird and the ant. These three decided to divide the large and fresh millet grain among them and eat it. Suddenly they heard a voice, a regular voice, but they did not know who it was.
Who is she? What is she? Who could she be?
When they looked, well, they saw her. Yes, she is the wife of the owner of the house dusting off the table cover in the garden. It is the same blanket filled with grains of rice and crumbs of bread, and whenever the wife shakes it into the garden, a lot of food falls from it. Today seems to be a little late, so everyone was looking for food. She brushed off the lacy cover. All of the food on it fell into the garden, and then hung it on the branch of the cherry tree to dry. The bird, the ant, and the mite thanked God in their heart for all of these blessings. Once upon a time, there was a mean and greedy wolf living in the woods. He was a little lazy, but of course, he was more greedy. The mean wolf liked to hunt a lot. He liked to hunt all animals. But he was a bit lazy and a little idle, so he liked to hunt animals without making effort. One day he saw a cave in the mountain near the forest. In this cave was a place from which many animals pass. And the wolf said to himself, "This cave may be the best place, because the animals pass through it, and I can hide and hunt." So he hid near the cave. And on the first day, a goat was passing by. The wolf got very excited and quickly got out of his hiding place. When the goat saw the wolf, she ran away, and ran quickly. The wolf did his best to catch the goat, but there was a small path in the cave. The goat managed to escape through the small path easily. She then exited the cave through a tunnel and then went to the forest. The wolf got very angry. He was also hungry and tired. He got out of the cave and hid again. The day ended, and the wolf had hunted nothing. The next day, a rabbit was passing by. The wolf, greedy as usual, rejoiced and said to himself,
I will definitely have a delicious meal for lunch today.
When the rabbit's eyes fell on the wolf, he ran away, quickly exiting through the little lane and escaping. The wolf was confused, and he realized that there was something wrong, and that he would not get a creamy and delicious meal in this situation. So he started blocking the corridors, and he said to himself, "I should have blocked the corridors yesterday." After he blocked 2 lanes, he went and hid nearby. On that day, the wolf had hunted nothing. The next day, while the wolf was watching from his hiding place, he saw a cute little squirrel passing by. He quickly jumped out of his hiding place and started chasing the squirrel. The squirrel ran and found a very narrow exit and escaped from the wolf as well. The wolf got very angry and started blocking all the paths in the cave. He blocked every lane he found in front of him. The wolf was upset because every animal that came found a path and ran away. He searched the cave and examined the cave from the outside and made sure that he had blocked all passages and holes. Then he hid next to the cave again. Also on this day, the wolf had had no food. The next day, he heard a voice, this time a little patient. The sound of feet began to come closer and closer. He could not stand it anymore. He was hungry. He quickly jumped out of his hiding place. He was sure that no animal would find a passage in the cave and escape from it. So he quickly came out and moved towards his prey. What is this? He saw a tiger. He lost all of his sense due to his intense fear and tried to escape. But when the tiger saw the wolf, he immediately followed him. The tiger was chasing the wolf, and the wolf was fleeing from corner to corner and looking for a path to escape. Unfortunately, there was no way out because he had blocked all of them. Thus, the tiger hunted the mean and greedy wolf. Once there were 3 ants living in a large green forest under the vast sky. The ants were friends. The 3 ants in our story used to go out with each other every day to search for food, and they played together and looked for food together. Every day, the ants got tired of carrying heavy food from one place to another and delivering it to their home. One day, the ants found a piece of food. It was very delicious, but it was also very heavy and difficult to carry. After a lot of effort, the poor ants managed to move the food a little. After a few minutes, they all lay on the floor due to exhaustion. The ants wanted to relax a little. And suddenly, an ant screamed out loud.
My friends, I have a question. Why don't we have a car? Why does a person carry all his heavy items in a car, but we do not? We must carry all of our things on our shoulders and move them from place to place.
The words of this ant were so strange that the 3 ants were silent for a moment. Thoughtful, and they said,
Really? Why do we not have a car? Why do people own cars and not us? What is the reason for this?
They were thinking, and suddenly they all started talking to each other. And they said with one voice,
We have to make a car.
But how can they do that? They're 3 little ants. What do you think? How can they make a car? What do they need?
The ants decided to search the area and prepare any equipment they believed could help them make the car. Each ant set out on one side, and after a while, the ants gathered around the big piece of food, the same one that they couldn't carry. They were so smart, even if they were very young. After an hour of work and effort, the ants made a beautiful car for themselves. Then, the ants put the food piece in the car and moved. Sometimes they brought several pieces of food home. On that day, these 3 good friends were able to put a big piece of food in their car and bring it home. They can now place other foods alongside this piece as well, and there is no need to carry food on their shoulders anymore. Now they collect food and have fun too, as they rest a lot while collecting food. When they got home, the other ants looked at them with amazement as they returned home with a strange machine. After the ants heard the story, they applauded them eagerly for several minutes and encouraged them. Queen of Ants called their car the magical creation. Our story is over. We hope you like it.
Once upon a time, there was a little dinosaur called Baby Dino by his mom and dad. Our little baby dino loved to play with other animals just like his friends. He enjoyed playing games, but nobody would play games with him. The little bunny kept telling him, "No, I won't play with you. I am too small. You might get distracted while playing and kick me away." Baby Dino would become very sad. Sometimes he would go to the little squirrels asking them to play with him, but they would tell him the same thing. "You are as big as a tree. You are only Baby Dino to your mom and dad." Baby Dino would feel so sad that sometimes it made him just sit there and cry. The mother dinosaur and daddy dinosaur really liked the little dinosaur to make friends, but nobody would become his friend. Usually, the little dino sat somewhere and watched little bunnies and squirrels playing together, because at least that would entertain him. One day, the little bunnies and squirrels were playing on the top of the hill, and little Dino was watching them play. Suddenly, Mr. Wolfie appeared. When he saw the little ones playing together, he rejoiced a lot. He thought to himself, "What a great lunch little bunnies and squirrels will be." The evil Mr. Wolfie got close to the baby animals and jumped towards them. The little ones were so afraid that they were screaming. Their hearts were beating like drums. Each one of the little bunnies and squirrels ran somewhere, until one of the bunnies said, "Hey friends, Baby Dino is right here. Let's get to him and hide behind his legs." The little bunny and her friends ran as fast as they could to reach Baby Dino. They hid right behind Baby Dino's legs. Mr. Wolfie reached Baby Dino. Breathlessly, he stuck out his tongue, showing that he was ready to attack. But the little bunnies and the little squirrels were jumping up on Baby Dino's legs, begging him to help them. Baby Dino felt for them. So he moved his head towards the wolf and said, "They are my friends. Get away from here." Wolfie's heart trembled. Now he was the one afraid. He thought to himself, "What bad luck I'm having. Where did this little dinosaur come from?" He turned to Baby Dino and told him, "What if I don't go?" Baby Dino told him, "If you don't, I will push you away with my hands and you will fall off this hill." Mr. Wolfie didn't want that to happen, so he decided to give up the fight and walk away from there. The little bunnies and squirrels were very happy. They gathered around Baby Dino and showed their happiness, and Baby Dino laughed happily with them, too. Now Baby Dino had lots of friends. They were sorry for treating Baby Dino so badly before, but now Baby Dino was their friend because he cared for them and defended them. They all started playing games together on top of the hill. And Mommy Dinosaur and Daddy Dinosaur were also glad that Baby Dinosaur had found good friends for himself.